He said that they're just animals and it's okay that he kills them.
Welcome to Animal Crossing.
This video is sponsored by Materialism. Marshall. Marshall. Hey, that's not good. So, I, being me, used to make fun of my little brother for playing stupid little video games that were made for little girls. You know, Pikmin, Yoshi's Island, and Animal Crossing Wild World. I thought those games were for the weird kids that at recess hang around the drinking fountain and pretend to be a dinosaur. But like many things I fought with my brother about as a kid, I continued resistance simply from an insecure desire to feel in control. I feel like maybe I was more like those dinosaur kids than I thought, because in 2013 I played Animal Crossing New Leaf and it was one of the best games I ever played. Many years later, when the illness spread across the land and took away our ability to simply be people, Animal Crossing New Horizons did the impossible by being a boring and oftentimes frustrating game that might have just saved my life.
Welcome to Animal Crossing, the live game that's happening every minute of every day, whether you're playing or not.
Animal Crossing is appropriately titled a social simulation game because you have to be social in it. It does it so well that it can replace your actual social life if you're not careful. It first came out in 2001 on the Nintendo 64 and was later enhanced on the GameCube. It is not Crossy Road, it is something entirely different. You're not even an animal, you're a weird little gummy person. There's a sequel to the original on the DS, and then the Wii, and then the 3DS, and their core gameplay is all pretty much the same, with changes to freedom and customization being the biggest upgrades. This one came out on March 20th, 2020, and was my Virgil through the 9-layer hell of Zoom work and Zoom University. This game was a curious case because its influence is heightened by the lockdowns. It definitely would have been popular, but because we were all trapped in our homes, there was nothing better to do besides wither away and play this game. It was crazy. This game took over everything. Its sales numbers were absolutely absurd for the series. This is even more absurd to me considering the nature of this game. The main quest in Animal Crossing is taking out a non-traditional, high-interest, 40-year fixed-rate mortgage written up on a napkin by a tycoon raccoon in the back room of one of his family-owned drugstores. You earn money through a wide variety of tasks like pillaging the local wildlife, bartering with neighbors, running hits, selling things you dig up, and manipulating the stock market. Yeah. The stuff you do in this game is mundane as hell. Pull weeds, plant trees, move furniture, do favors for neighbors. Why am I playing this? There is no grand adventure in this game, no dramatic conflict between good and evil, no high stakes or action set pieces. It has less of a story than Breath of the Wild or Blade Runner. There's no violence, no weapons, just cute little pencil topper animals that you have to lend the proverbial sugar to every now and then. Men like me want to just kill things like this, and now you're telling me that I have to fraternize with it? Break bread with it? Like the hardened movie guy who slowly is softened by the company of a cute dog or child. I was hooked because it's kinda nice doing favors for others for once and living the simple life, having coherent and rational conversations at a slow pace, and doing chores. Domestic affairs romanticized. That's it. That's Animal Crossing. This game has chores and is boring. I don't want to do chores. I want to play video games. I don't want to wait for the fruits of my labor to blossom. I want it now. To hell with the fruit. I want to eat the unbloomed buds now. If you don't do what I want now, it means you don't care about me. If you don't do what I want now, I might act out, and that would be your fault. Everything is your fault. I want to play a fun game. I want to constantly excite every nerve in my body. I want to be a pathetic piece of shit my entire life. Hi.
Why?
You do things in this game that you try to avoid doing in real life when you play video games. There were a lot of things competing for my attention during this time, and they initially won out above Animal Crossing. They gave me exactly what I wanted all the time. TikTok, with all of its memes and the terrible political battles, the riots, the negative world news, everything all at once, all the time. Stuff like this tricked the monkey inside of me to consume more. They were not exactly what he signed up for when he filled out that 14 million year evolutionary contract to play for the continuation of the species. Our culture has essentially attempted to delete from the collective consciousness most of the meaningful pursuits someone can try to undertake by inserting cynicism and relativism, and convince people that the outcomes of their effort are essentially meaningless in the reductive cosmic machine of deterministic calculus. We're living in a Cormac McCarthy book. Anything that takes more than 15 seconds to achieve or is uncomfortable in any way is seen as a waste of time. Animal Crossing stands in defiance to these assertions. Not only is the core gameplay slow, but it was the first series that I ever saw use the daily reset thing, where you can only do really a certain amount of things a day. Big projects take an entire calendar day to build. Stuff in the store restocks every real day that passes. And yeah, you can exploit this limitation by time traveling, changing the console's clock, but this is stupid, and like screenwriting ruins everything. It's playing the game wrong. It ruined a new leaf for me when I was younger, so I didn't do it this time. And it made the game better. You don't get the bat the whole time. Sometimes you gotta be in the field. Life is baseball. It's not an endless home run derby. That's why the pitch clock is insane. It's fine if it's slow, you hedonist. Yay, fishing pole. No, hey, pig, don't look in there, don't! The slower pace is a good thing. It's actually a healthy thing. When you binge something, or worse, binge something that is engineered to make the lizard part of your brain smile insidiously, you reduce the amount of pleasure that you can get from said object of consumption. Literally, the longer and more you consume something, the lower the amounts of happy chemicals your brain emits every successive time you consume it. It's why people love the thrill of the chase. It's why sometimes it feels like it's better to want something than to actually get it. It's why it feels so good to live in a fantasy world held together by dreams and Pinterest boards instead of improving your life. Abusing this might also make anything else that doesn't give your brain the happy chemicals at the same breakneck pace seem meaningless and unbearable. Examples. Anything you have to do in real life. It's very easy to fall into attention traps like this, like TikTok and Fortnite, because they're so prevalent and they're so addictive. But despite this, I find it very funny that the most played and the most famous games are surprisingly those that require you to go at a slower pace and grind for resources. For example, Minecraft is the highest selling game of all time. Maybe this says something about what we really want. What do we want? Gentle constancy. We want purpose. We secretly want to be told what to do and what to be responsible for, even if it's by a financially dubious raccoon. So, a tumultuous relationship with your father, you don't like the idea of a career because it is inhumane, and you think the government should take care of you anyway. You go where again? NAU? Oh, you dropped out. You have an unopened edition of Interpretation of Dreams on your nightstand. Believe the solution to capitalistic meritocracy is a newfound open-mindedness guided by the energies of essential oils and crystals. Your walls are covered with appropriated Buddhist tapestries. Sure, I'll write down your Pinterest handle. And your favorite game is Animal Crossing? Tell me more. Animal Crossing gives you a meaningful life, and it removes all of the barriers, which is cool, but is also a problem because games, no matter how mundane, are essentially still neurochemical farms. Even if you're doing chores in a game, you're doing so using an instrument that makes mobility less stressing. Tasks are given to you in engineered increments that grab your attention. There are lower stakes if you fail. The world is represented as flashing lights, which already in themselves make your brain feel good. Best case scenario, Animal Crossing. Worst case scenario, leaving your wife and kids for the Destiny grind. Or losing your mind amid a worldwide pandemic despite having all the entertainment someone could ever want. So how do you improve your life in this game? Every once in a while, Old Nook, filled with Drumbui and the regrets from the war and his later life exploits as a business shark, passes out in his lazy boy and forgets to collect on your rent. In these moments, you can finally splurge on something nice for yourself. This game is a materialistic Pinterest girl's dreamscape, which I have recently found out that I am. You can get a piece of furniture to liven up your home for when friends visit, maybe an outfit to remove from yourself the shame of simply going out in public, or perhaps a public works project to bring more pizzazz to the community. And you chose great.
Nice outfit. Where'd you get it? A garbage dump?
Yeah.
And how do you get the money to buy these things? Well, you pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You work 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, trying to climb the corporate power hierarchy, whatever the hell, trying to get more and more money, non-stop grinding for the sake of conquering financially, sacrificing social and emotional needs so that you can prove yourself to people and make up for those needs by your earned status. Can you back off? So, you're a business major? Oh, sorry. You seemed to tense up a bit when I mentioned your mom. I didn't mean to startle you. Yeah, I get it. There's no reason that you would feel weird about that. That was my mistake. Why does it not surprise me that a Bruce Lee tattoo immediately preceded a failed real estate exam? Your favorite author is Dave Ramsey. You spend your free time building up and then selling World of Warcraft accounts, managing a portfolio in the stock market game, and accumulating wealth in Animal Crossing? Huh, tell me more. Somehow, this game appeals to the supposedly enlightened, emotionally extravagant pick-me girl and the supposedly stoic, emotionally repressed bro Chad, one needing to work harder and the other needing to settle down. Eternal enemies at each other's throats and simultaneously two sides of the same coin, forever flipping through the air in an aimless game of chance, trying to show everyone that they have it all under control. Their secret longing is for each other to show each other their Animal Crossing villages. Anyway, it's no surprise that New Horizons was so mesmerizing when, during March 2020, any meaningful pursuit at all and normalcy were taken from us. It was all successfully simulated within this game. I mean, why bother living? But the game gives us an answer to that. Actually, it doesn't explicitly say it, and it doesn't actually try to say it at all, but it didn't stop me from pulling the lesson from it in order to regain some of my sanity, because that's just what you gotta do sometimes. Every time I would look up from my Switch, I would see the dark dungeon that was my real-life room covered with dirty laundry and haphazardly placed furniture, and I'd be filled with shame and disgust. Maybe instead of just having the feeling of accomplishing something from doing digital chores, I should turn off my Switch and do something about all of this filth. I thought it was ironic that my digital life far overshadowed my real one, because maybe if the game could make chores fun and rewarding, maybe I can do it in real life too. Nah, besides being boring though, there was another feature that I absolutely despised. Yeah, we put him in therapy, but his behavior doesn't seem to be improving. Something felt off about New Horizons. Like something distinct to the series was missing. Like the soul of Animal Crossing. And I thought at first that it was the crafting and breakable tools, or maybe the slightly more elongated character models, which probably contributed. But after some thinking and soul-searching, I found to me that what was missing from Animal Crossing New Horizons was the pre-made map. Usually, in past games, there's a curated downtown area that you can go to and unlock stores. It gives your village like a sense of structure. But this time, you had to build your own city from scratch. It's just an empty island. Not only do you have to do all the chores, but you have to create from scratch the little world to make the chores meaningful. That's a lot of responsibility. And you have to imbue it with your own style, your own soul. And here's a question. What do you do if you feel like you don't have a soul? This is made even worse by the fact that they had terraforming, and this sounds cool at first, but the thing is, it sucked. This is not Halo Forge or Minecraft. This is a slow and arduous feature that requires you to slowly break and place blocks one at a time with many limitations. There's no planning feature, so you just have to map it out in your head and undo anything that didn't turn out exactly as you wanted. It was probably the poorest way they could have done this. But maybe it was the only way they could manage on the Switch, who knows. And I just did a lot of complaining just now, but I look back on it and all my time spent doing that seemed worth it, which is conflicting because games are supposed to be fun, right? Am I allowed to like something that constantly frustrates me? You know, it might be a video game hacking your brain and offering you only the aesthetic of a meaningful life, but at least it points you in the right direction.
A walrus moved into the village today.
Hot.
It existed during the collapse and redefinition of society, and in the same way redefined what it means to be entertained, at least for me personally, and it acted as a good distraction to hold me together during that period of time. And also, in an almost laughably poetic fashion, during that time, it was the longest rainy season in my home of Southern California for a very long time. It was a perfect storm. So I was trapped in my house and it was dark and gloomy, but despite that, I look back on it and all my memories from this era are full of sunlight, friends, and purpose, both from the gentle constancy of this game and the values that I try to extract from it. So doing my chores, biding the time with pursuing what I could control, one article of clothing at a time. I'm not sure if I'd play the game again, but I can thank it for that. What? I don't know what I expected.